You and your family, Trevor. I'm loving your enthusiasm. I remember when I started working in my first corporate position after transferring from smaller companies. I always saw myself as an employee that wanted to move quick to the top and make the big money. But now I see myself just wanting to become a solid, well-rounded manager. What is your take on that?
Honestly, I'm not too sure these days. I think that I'm still looking to get promoted quick and make money so I can support my family better than when I was a kid. What's wrong? You don't like money?
Believe me, I love money. I think around year 8 in my career, I felt like I didn't really know the people that I worked with and focused mostly on myself moving up.
I think I can handle both. I'm pretty good at that.
Here, think about this. How many members of our team are married? Do you know everyone's job descriptions?
I mean, I know a few.
That's the key to becoming a successful manager and moving up. When your peers and employees know that you care and are interested, they'll respond to you better. But with that being said, how do you think you've ranked up in your time here?
Well, besides the stuff that we just discussed, I feel like I can keep doing what I'm doing, but focus on the bigger picture and become a little bit more involved outside my lane.
How are you thinking that you're going to go about doing that?
Do you have any advice?
How has your experience been of corporate? How has your experience of corporate been, not just here at the company, but all across the board?
Honestly, people seem kind of cold and don't really seem very trustworthy. Here seems a bit better, but I still see quite a bit even now.
You're gonna have those people everywhere you go. I mean, if you could change it, what would your plan of action be?
I like what you said. Show a sincere interest in your counterparts and form a team like atmosphere.
Right. Okay. But how would you go about executing it?
Well, good question. I'll have to think about that one.
I think that's a great approach, but remember, you should want to do it, not just because we talked about it. The day that I realized what I needed to do, not just for my position, but for my work-life mentality, I took it one person at a time. Start communicating and sharing your thoughts and emotions to others.
Yeah, I mean, Sarah and I get along. Maybe I'll get to know her a little bit better and then go from there.
There are many ways of going at it, and I'm not sure all routes you choose will work as you thought. Hell, not all of them did for me, at least.
Yeah, I kind of figured that.
Like I said, you remind me of myself when I began, and that's not a bad thing. I think you're doing great, but we always need to be searching for other things we're great at as well. Let me know how everything's working out, and remember, it's all about you wanting it, no one else.
Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome.
It has come to my attention that there is a disconnect between the accounting and finance department due to your issues with Sarah. This problem has permeated throughout the organization, and now we are all suffering because our accounting records aren't accurate. Why is the data you present missing key information?
If you had to work with her, you would understand. She is impossible to talk to, so I'd rather try and figure out our records by reading the financial statements alone.
This is unacceptable. I have already spoken to Sarah about resolving the conflict, and she seems to be on board with putting her issues aside to work in a more professional manner. We are meeting today to solve the problems on your end.
I'm going to make an effort to see how this can be worked out because I care about my job and the organization in general.
I am happy to hear that we are on the same page. Sarah claimed that you speak over her when she is trying to interpret her reports. She feels as if you act like an expert in her field.
In my opinion, Sarah has a superiority complex and acts as if her individual job responsibilities are more important than everyone else. So whenever we are talking, I feel as if I am wasting her time.
Sarah has agreed to be more patient, but you need to try and be less sensitive. Sarah's nature is very blunt and may be perceived the wrong way. I think miscommunication is the biggest problem between the two of you.
Now that you pointed that out, I have to agree with you.
To start, I would prefer the two of you meet in person rather than converse through email. The accounting department is not a far walk, and this way you will not take the tone of her message as overly aggressive.
Okay, I can do that.
Sarah has realized that she can be a little short, so she's going to work on that. I want you to try to be more understanding and respectful of the work she does to make your job easier.
I'll do my best.
Let's meet at the end of next week to review your progress. Please bring any other concerns or questions at that time.
Sounds like a plan.
Good morning, Rick. I appreciate you stepping into my office. I'm going to waste no time as to why I called this meeting. I have tried my best to be patient and understanding, but your present performance has not been up to this organization's standards. When you first got the job, the expectations for your position as a financial analyst were clearly outlined. Your main priority is supposed to be developing reports and extracting from necessary data sources to determine the best source of information, and the reports you've been handing in are mediocre at best.
I'm genuinely upset and embarrassed to hear that you noticed such a difference in my quality of work in recent weeks.
Because of your lack of effort on these reports, all of your other colleagues are performing tasks outside of their job description, since they cannot depend on the data you present to them.
I did not know that so many other people were being affected by this problem.
How can we improve performance? How would you handle this situation if you were in my position?
To start, I want you to understand why this has happened. I do not want to make any excuses for my actions, but I feel like my everyday responsibilities are repetitive. I am bored with the work I have received. In order for me to improve my performance, we can agree upon a performance improvement plan. If I were you, and I honestly don't know what I would do, this is my first issue at work, so I think I deserve the opportunity to turn it around.
I'm sorry to hear you are bored, and I agree that we can work together to fix this. I think it would be a smart move to turn in your reports into me before you distribute them to the other departments for the next few weeks. Additionally, can we talk about adjusting your role and diversifying your work?
That is something I could definitely do. Thank you for being so understanding.
Though I want to rectify the problem at hand, if your performance does not improve, I'm going to have to notify my supervisor. This will either result in a meeting between you and him or termination. At the end of the day, this is a business, and your behavior has been inappropriate and unprofessional, to say the least.
I will make sure this issue does not get that far.
From here on out, all of your reports will contain factual and well-researched data from reliable sources. There is no other option. I will meet with you 3 weeks from today to discuss your progress.
Okay, I agree.
You may leave, but just so you're aware, I am making a note of this meeting in your file.
Not a problem. Jesus.
An important project that I just received. I wanted to assign a task for you to do. Do you have a minute?
Yeah, what's the project?
The part I wanted to give you is conducting a financial analysis on some of the new information that we received from our competitor.
Okay. What is this for exactly?
In short, I like to be better than our competitors. The information that I was given could potentially be used as an advantage if we analyze it correctly.
That doesn't sound too hard. How should I handle this task?
If you take the information that I provided in the Excel files as well, you can run it through our database and capture a better understanding.
Okay. That doesn't sound too hard to handle. Do you have a deadline for me that you would like me to finish by?
It would be great if we could have this analyzed and observed in just under 2 weeks.
Since I'm just checking these data tables already, is there anything else I can help with?
Nope, that's all. If you have any questions with what you're doing, feel free to ask me anything.
Thank you, sir. Will do.
How about we do a progress check on this Friday, the 1st, before lunch?
Sounds good to me. Should have a lot done by then.
Awesome. Thank you very much. This is really going to help us out a lot.
Happy to help. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Hey, good morning, Erica. Do you have a few minutes?
Hey Dave, sure. Come on in and have a seat. What's on your mind?
As you know, we've talked many times about my frustrations these last few months. I've been working here nearly 6 years and I've only received 1 raise. I was talking with Michael yesterday and he informed me that he would be receiving a 6% raise, and I'm just a little bit confused right now.
Dave, I understand. As you may be aware, we have been through a few layoffs in the past year. You may not be receiving a raise, but you definitely still have a job.
Yes, I appreciate it, but how did Michael receive a raise when I've been here longer? I'm happy for him, but I'm just concerned about my own situation.
Well, for starters, I do not usually speak about someone's pay without them being present, but I feel as though this situation warrants it. Mike was one of those candidates we hired with a lower than average salary, but was also guaranteed a raise upon completion of his degree. Mike just graduated.
Well then, I'll make sure I just congratulate him. It's no easy task.
Regarding the raise, if I could give you an increase, I would. The company can't afford it this quarter, although the first of the year is still a possibility.
You know, after this whole conversation, I love working for the company, but that being said, I'm going to give you my 2 weeks notice. I've been offered a position closer to home for a really generous salary.
I see. I'm a bit taken back by this, but I do understand. I have had to make many tough decisions like this throughout my career as well.
I appreciate your time. When are you available to discuss this in a little bit more detail?
I have time Thursday before lunch if that works for you.
Yeah, that'll work. I appreciate you understanding, Erica.
You're welcome. I'll get back to you. Thanks.